बेसिक फॉर्म्स की ओवरव्यू।
भाई जी ने बहुत ही खूबी से बताया है और ये तो कमाल का उन्होंने बताया। तो मैं थोड़ी कोशिश करूंगी अंग्रेजी में बात करूं, आपकी अनुमति हो तो। An incredible seminar like this on tabla, ladies and gentlemen, would not have been thought possible if it gets so successful a couple of decades ago. Before beginning, I would like to take the blessings of Pandit Pandarinath Nageshkar ji, Ustad Nizamuddin Khan Sahab, Muhammad Ahmad Khan Sahab, and of course my revered Guru Ustad Alarka Khan Sahab, whose presence for us youngsters over here is very encouraging. Tabla has evolved as one of the most aesthetic and versatile instruments that has gained popularity, respect, and worldwide appeal. The untiring efforts of many tabla solo performers like Ustad Tharakwa Khan Sahab, Ustad Amir Hussain Khan, Ustad Shamsuddin Khan, Kanthe Maharaji, to name a few, and of course my revered gurus Ustad Alaraka Khan Sahab and Ustad Zakir Hussain have put tabla on the world music scene. In fact, Pandit Ravi Shankar ji was one of the earliest supporters of the tabla, who not only gave enough chance for the tabla player to interact on an equal footing, but even played tabla for their individual tabla solos. All this at a time, ladies and gentlemen, when tabla was considered an inferior and somewhat only an accompanying instrument. In fact, Alaraka Khan Sahab was one of the earliest crusaders who convinced Bukhari Sahab, the station director of the All India Radio Delhi, to broadcast tabla solos and give it an equal status and opportunity as a solo instrument. Thereafter, Abbaji's tremendous study of lekari, nikas and presentation led to the greater integration of the South Indian Carnatic system of Tal Shastra into the Hindustani system, thereby enriching its repertoire even further. And of course, in the present time, thanks to the efforts of masters like Shivji, Hariji, Shahid Bhai, this once underrated instrument is amongst the most popular the world over. Be it a classical music festival or a visual medium, tabla asserts its presence in many different ways. Whether it's an ad film or a news show like World This Week or Good Morning India, as you all must be hearing, tabla is used, or even in a commercial film, tabla is used in different ways to enhance the effect of the visual medium. For example, you might remember tabla formed the background score in the film Sholay when to add to the excitement of the chase, or in the film Dar where it portrayed fear. In fact, the concept in the soft drink team ad is literally based on the bowls of the tabla, because it goes, Garmi se main thak gaya hoon, pyas se main pak gaya hoon, thak pak thak team, dhin dhin adhin, dhin adhin dhin dhin adhin dhin team. So they have literally used the words of the tabla to create an ad that's so catchy and something that sticks. So that's how popular this instrument has become. In fact,
Excuse me, मैं चाहता हूँ कि टाइम की पाबंदी ध्यान में रखते हुए जो सब्जेक्ट दिया गया है उसी पे बात करना बहुत ज़रूरी समझता हूँ, और मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि आप ओवरव्यू ऑन बेसिक तबला सोलोस फॉर्म्स इसके ऊपर ही बात कर लीजिए। धन्यवाद।
So what are the features of the tabla that make it so appealing? As a solo instrument, this gunga saz or ek sur ka baja, as it is called, can literally create music in the hands of an expert performer. So what are the basic forms of a good solo tabla performance? A traditional tabla solo has a complex interplay of many elements, the mixing of the purest and classical with the familiar and appealing. The extent of mixing depends on the venue of the performance, the nature and composition of the audience, etc. A performance, say for a private group of corporate executives, might have to be spiced with glamour and gimmicks, whereas a performance for a group of connoisseurs like yourselves would have to be purely classical, with a generous blending of rare traditional compositions and a purist approach. A tabla solo has 4 major movements. The first, slow development, peshkar, that immediately follows the uthan, is a spontaneous and often freshly created improvisation, having a free yet structured development to it. The peshkar has a point of reference, where the performer stresses every time after a rhythmic improvisation, thereby showing his rhythmic prowess and spontaneity. As in the alap, where each note of the rag is carefully, slowly, and logically developed, few basic syllables like dha, ti, tun, tita, like Bhaiji showed, are taken as a base to which other complex syllables are added to form a link of rhythmic ideas, like the Jod Jhala portion in Tantrakari music. The second movement is of traditional kaidas that form exercises usually concerning a specified number of strokes and syllables. Regular practice of kaidas leads to the development of essential finger techniques, speed, clarity, and improved sound production. This is an integral part of the solo performance as it sets the tone and tenor for a more traditional presentation after a fluid and improvised peshkar. The third movement is of traditional compositions that have been handed down from father to son or guru to disciple. There are many kinds of compositions like Kavit, Mohra, Tukra, Paran, Farad, Gat, Farmaishi Chakradar, Bedam, Damdar Chakradar, Tipalli, Chopalli, Ahmad, Uthan, Parmeliu, Ek Hati Paran, Kamali Chakradar, Atit, Anaghat, Bat, etc. to name a few. In fact, there is probably no other form of music, be it instrumental or gaiki, that has so many types of compositions. I will not be going into the details of each as they would be shown in detail by Bhaiji and Sureshji later on. These compositions employ a rich use of varied syllables, exposing the wide spectrum of the varied sounds and moods that can be created merely by the use of 8 fingers. Also, these compositions reflect the thought process and musical greatness of its creator, as would be evident in the presentation of the Chopalli, Tipalli, Atit, Anaghat, etc. In fact, one can literally relive the generation, the milieu of the times of the composer, as the peculiarities of the composition even reflects his personality. For example, a composition by Pandit Kishan Maharajji would have the dynamism and power evident in his personality, whereas a composition by Pandit Shanta Prasad would be softer and less aggressive, even though they are contemporaries and both belong to the Banaras Gharana. The last movement is a fast drum roll compositions called Rela. There are repetitions of fast, exciting syllables creating a balanced and interesting dialogue between the tabla and baya. Rela literally means a continuous onrush, like we say a pani ka rela aaya. Tremendous speed, clarity and finger dexterity forms the climax of the tabla solo performance in the Rela, concluded by a resounding tihai. The above movements can be interchanged in their order of presentation, depending on the individual performer's temperament, gharana, and preferences. For example, a qaida can break into a rela to form a qaida rela that sustains the mood of the qaida while developing a complex and integrated rela. Also, a gat or traditional composition can lead to a rela creating a gat rela. Same is the case with a gatanga tukra, which is a takeoff from the ideas and syllables espoused in the gat to explore its full meaning and depth logically. The presentation of tabla solos has undergone many transformations from the past to the present time. Earlier, when audiences were fewer and classical music was for the classes, a more slow, traditional, and purist approach dominated, as is evident in the solo performances of the masters of that time. Today, the importance of gharanas has reduced, and a good performer usually employs various elements of different gharanas to enhance his knowledge and appeal. In fact, the way we are all meeting today under one roof is in itself a sign of the kind of camaraderie, the kind of respect we tabla players have for each other. And I'd really like to commend that, the great work done by Panditji, Suresh Talwalkarji, and for this extraordinary seminar here. And this has also led to a more curious intermixing of styles, with great exchanges between musicians, leading to a feeling of camaraderie. Even though this is a traditional art form, where the continuation of a gharana lies in the student following the teacher, the individuality of the performer lies in the way he interprets a composition, and the imaginative musical link he creates between one composition and the other, such that they sound perfectly matching and meaningful. It is for the performer to gauge the aesthetic value of his traditional compositions and stress its musicality, lyrical, euphonious, and aesthetic meaning in his presentation. Now, classical music encompasses a much larger audience, and it is necessary for the performer to be sensitive and quick witted while striking a balance between his or her individual temperament and classicism and the needs of the audience. This requires a very intuitive and intelligent approach, both as a soloist as well as an accompanist, so that he pleases the audience without compromising on quality. As you would remember, a couple of years ago, Sureshji had done an experiment on tal and bandish and how to incorporate the two, and it was a very interesting experiment how you can, you know, make the two meet, and and there are many experiments of this kind happening in the tabla world. So, through this presentation of the soloist or the accompanist, he through his presentation and interpretation, the performer represents his gharana, his reverence for his guru or guru bhakti, as well as for the other stalwarts who influence his style and thinking. Every art form, and especially music, ladies and gentlemen, has undergone many transformations depending on the influences of the age. But it is the responsibility of us all to maintain our tradition, culture, and classicism, as well as give it our own individual style and interpretation. And that's exactly where the challenge lies. Thank you.
We have very little time, but there are many questions in Hindi, please. Mike.
Prabhakar Sabnis, my question is addressed to Anuradha ji. It was mentioned that some very senior instrumentalists and especially made and sustained effort to bring tabla from its level as an accompanying instrument to its own complete personality to which it does it mean that earlier it stood suppressed? Can we presume that
I would say
all these years?
comparatively it was suppressed. Definitely it was it came into its being probably in this age due to his efforts and the efforts of so many others who I've already mentioned and also not mentioned.
मेरा ख्याल है आप लोगों का लेक्चर्स इतने अच्छे थे कि
एक
सब चुप हो गए, कोई किसी को सवाल नहीं
एक
पूछना है।
बात करनी है अबाउट बेसिक फॉर्म्स के बारे में बात करनी है। मुझे लगता है कि मुझे कुछ कहना चाहिए कि इसके आगे वही सब्जेक्ट चलने वाला है, इंडिविजुअल बेसिक फॉर्म्स तबला सोलो में जो भी कुछ है, पेशकार, कायदा, रेला, गत, टुकड़ा, परण, इसके बेसिक दो भाग होते हैं। एक होता है एक्सपांडेबल कॉम्पोजिशन और दूसरा होता है नॉन एक्सपांडेबल कॉम्पोजिशन। एक का विस्तार क्षम रचना कहते हैं और दूसरे को कहते हैं अविस्तार क्षम रचना। विस्तार क्षम रचना जो होती है वो दैट इज पेशकार, कायदा और रेला, जिसका विस्तार किया जाता है घंटों घंटों तक। और दूसरी रचनाएं जो होती है गत, टुकड़ा, एक बार कहते हैं खत्म होती है, उसको कहते हैं अविस्तार क्षम रचना। और ये बेसिकली जो विस्तार क्षम रचना जो है वो खास तबले की प्रॉपर्टी है, दूसरे अन्य साधन की प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है। ये तबले की खास बात है। जो खाली भरी है ये उसका प्रमुख आधार है। जो हमारे यहाँ पेशकार कायदा जिस सब्जेक्ट पे सुधीर माइंडकर जी बड़ा उनका अच्छा प्यारा सब्जेक्ट है, ये वो बात करने जा रहे हैं, वो तो करने वाले ही है। लेकिन ये जो बेसिक फॉर्म्स है इसके दो बेसिक भाग है, एक तो विस्तार क्षम रचना और दूसरा अविस्तार क्षम रचना। विस्तार क्षम रचना में खाली भरी का महत्व रहता है और अविस्तार क्षम रचना ये बेसिक फॉर्म जो है यही पखावत से आया है, ये पखावत से संबंधित है। अविस्तार क्षम रचना चाहे गत हो, परण हो, टुकड़ा हो, वो पखावत से संबंधित है। लेकिन पेशकार, कायदा, रेला ये प्योरली तबले की चीज़ है। इसलिए कुछ बड़े उस्ताद लोग एक भी गत नहीं बजाते थे, सिर्फ पेशकार, कायदा, रेला बजाते थे और ख़त्म करते थे, क्योंकि वो अपने ये तबले को प्योर ज़्यादा मानते थे। ये सोचना है ये किसी कलाकार के ऊपर बंधन कारक नहीं है चीज़, लेकिन ये तबले के जो मूलभूत बेसिक फॉर्म्स है इसके बारे में कह दिया। धन्यवाद।
Yes, please. Yeah, mic. No, here there is one more.
Hello, my name is Frances Shepherd. I'd just like to make a comment, and that is that I know that Anuradha ji, that you have a, you know, and everybody here has a very short time to speak, and so therefore we can always give what ends up happening. Sometimes we give a false impression of really the reality. Tabla could not have been that suppressed because if we take what you've been saying, Sureshji, it has been developing over a very long period of time and has drawn its influences from a number of different great traditions. Now, these were all great traditions. They could not have been such great traditions and have developed so much if they'd been suppressed. Yes, they were suppressed in one society, but in another society they weren't suppressed. India is full of many different societies. So I'd just like to make a plea for that. Thank you.
थैंक यू।
Thank you very much. मेरा ख्याल है अभी हम चाय के लिए ब्रेक करेंगे और ये अविस्तारक क्षम है। और हम लोग शुरू करें उससे पहले उस्ताद मोहम्मद अहमद खान साहब और उस्ताद निज़ामुद्दीन खान साहब दोनों ज़रा लेट आए, शायद झुमरा में आ रहे थे, तो इस वजह से थोड़ा सा लेट हो गया है। तो अभी हमको बड़ी खुशी है कि उनका हम सम्मान सत्कार कर रहे हैं।